Alrighty, folks, we need to have this talk. Accent ranges above vocabulary and grammar on the list of things that prevent you from speaking English. And by that I mean, if you think you have a bad accent or a bad pronunciation, that very thing single-handedly can fill you with the fear of speaking, with the hesitation, that palpitation in your heart, and make you hate the sound of your own voice. But, is all of that overthinking necessary? Is it even reasonable? Not at all. But the real problem, is that fixable? Yes, sir. I know I'm expected to come out with regular content on how to understand fast speech, the American accent, and to absorb it all. I'm keeping my word. You can start learning by smashing that like button because this video is going to benefit you a lot. So like I said, we're going to discuss some key features about the American accent. I mean, the very things that make the Americans sound the way they do. So just do the math. If you know the things that make up the American accent, you can very easily learn to speak the accent and to sound more like a native speaker, to sound more natural. Let's just get into it. Let's roll. Point number 1 is contraction. This is pretty basic, like the ABC for understanding native speakers. And the reason I say it is because it's not hard to learn, but I know many of you are still struggling to use it. But you need to do it in order to sound more natural, to speak more smoothly, and to understand native speakers better. Let's take, for example, this sentence. I do not know. Pretty simple. Or, I don't know. Now, somebody who responds with, I do not know, it makes me think like their entire English was sourced from a standard textbook, which is a bit stiff, a bit formal. If you want to speak more freely, you want to choose the contraction and go, I don't know. I don't know. Instead of saying, I don't know, you can say, I don't know. This is faster, this conveys the right emotion, and it also makes you sound supernatural at the same time. But for people who already want to start using this contraction, you can notice that I'm saying a bit of an R there. I don't know. I don't know. But then you don't have to focus on the technicalities if you're not already wanting to speak it. And if you're watching this video just so you can take the first step at using contractions. So this is your example. Example number 2 is I am going to go. I am going to go. Here you can see already we are using this contraction I''M, but this one is not pronounced like am. I'm going to go. It is not am. Instead, it is and going to will become gonna. Pretty simple. I bet you've heard it, but you've got to start using it already. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I will call you. Instead of this, you can simply go, I'll call you. I'll call you. I would love to go out. I'd love to go out. I'd love to go out. While we're at it, I just remembered a scene from this Netflix documentary that I watched some time back. The lead actress had a Scottish accent, and it was beautiful. She wanted to say, I've got to go now. I've gotta go. Instead, she said it so fast and so in her Scottish accent that I was thrown by it. She literally went, I've gotta go. I've gotta go. No matter how good you are in your Aussie or American English, it can still be a whole another ball game to understand the Scottish accent, but it is also very fun at the same time. Tip number 2 is linking. By that, I mean merging the sounds of the words in the sentence to make it all sound like one big word, but with some intonation. Native speakers do it all the time, so much so that they can make full sentences sound like one big word. Let's start with some examples, phrases first, and then sentences and questions to aid you understanding. For example, black and white. Black and white. How many words can you see in this phrase? 3, the answer is obvious, black and white, but instead of making it sound like a 3-word phrase, they'd literally make it sound like 2-word or a single word phrase. black and white, black and white. Mac and cheese, mac and cheese. Fish and chips, fish and chips. Cats or dogs, cats or dogs. I'm saying cats or dogs, but that's not how I'm saying it. Cats or dogs. Men and women, men and women. So you can notice that I am mostly dropping the words that are connectors or prepositions like and, or in, on, at, also auxiliary verbs like has, have. These words are mostly weakened in sentences and the main words are stressed. Let's see another example. Did you know it? Did you know it? I am making it sound like I'm asking a question because I have the rising intonation wherein you take your voice up toward the last word in the question. That's the intonation that questions usually follow. And in the sentence structure, we have the falling intonation wherein your voice goes a bit down toward the last word. But here, you can only hear this one big sound, which is made up of several words that are there in the question. But I'm not giving any special importance or not pronouncing each word clearly. I'm not taking any pauses in the middle either. So you can check this out. Did you know it? Did you know it? Answer, I know. I know. Again, you can hear that I'm saying something that ends in a full stop. This is not a question, but then anybody who is not used to listening to native speakers all that much can have a hard time understanding what they mean by I know or did you see it? So for that, you'll have to develop an ear that only happens through listening. Tip number 3 is stress. Stress is like the music in the language. And just like the songs, you don't want to stress each word that comes out of your mouth equally. I mean, you want to make some words pop and others weak. So this is what we're going to do. Highlight some words by stressing on them and then weakening some words that we don't want to stress. For example, do you know him? Do you know him? Know him? Answer, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Now, there is a big difference in the way I pronounce the same word, which is do, in both these cases. In the question, I weakened it and I went, do you know him? Do you know him? But in the answer, I did stress on it because it is basically the hero of the sentence. I do. Yes, I do. Another example, you'll get a call from the company. You'll get a call from the company. Call and company are stressed, as you must have heard. Will you call me? Will you call me? In this question, which is actually the response to what the speaker said, will is stressed. It is like the hero of the question. And it is the same when you say, have you done it? Have you done it? Yes, I have. When you ask the question with the word have, you don't put much stress on it. You rush through it and go, have you done it? Have you done it? But in the answer, it is the main word. And so it takes the stress. Yes, I have. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up here. So the way you can become a pro at the American accent is again by listening as much as possible, because you know what? The more practice you get, the better you become at it. And you can definitely get a lot of practice by watching my videos on a daily basis. I'll see you again in the next one. Until then, enjoy this video and share it with your friends.